California, to a California residential address.
Is that what you're relying on? Because I want to make sure that's what you're relying on.
This is the evidence that suggested to me that that set was intended to be used as indicated.
Is that what you're relying on, Dr. Shafer?
Do you mean is that all of the evidence?
Yes. Is that all you're relying on?
No. Dr. Murray had ordered these in the past for his Las Vegas address. He had ordered them in 2007, 2008. So it seemed likely that this was a set of tubing that he was familiar with.
It's also tubing that he ordered every few months. His office ordered every few months too, right?
No, I actually have a summary of the orders, and it was less frequent than that.
But you would agree that he ordered it frequently, that he ordered it many times from the same supplier. I believe the testimony was 4 times. Is that right?
He ordered it on 7/20/07. He ordered it on 10/5/07. He ordered it on 6/24/08 and on 4/24/09, 4 times over 4 years, over 3 years. Over 2007, 2008, and 2009, he ordered it 4 times.
And you understand that Dr. Murray had a cardiology practice, is that right?
Yes, I do.
You don't see it particularly suspicious that any item would be ordered, any IV item would be ordered for a cardiology clinic, would you?
No.
So you're saying that based on the fact that the very last order was in March of 2009, you're putting this IV setup in Michael Jackson's room.
Jackson misstates the testimony, Your Honor. He previously testified it's because it's vented. It was an option.
The objection is overruled. I'll allow you to answer and you can explain.
That's why you're putting this in Michael Jackson's room on June 25th, 2009, right?
We need a vented infusion set to explain the rent, to explain the hole in the bottle of propofol that was found. I've inspected the bottle as carefully as I can, and I can find no evidence of a needle hole other than the white spike, other than the hole from the white spike. I'd be happy to look at the evidence again for you. But in the absence of another way of getting air into that bottle, a vented infusion set was used. This is the only vented infusion set I found in the Seacoast orders. There could be others.
What you just said was we needed a vented infusion set for an infusion to be possible, really. Is that what you're saying?
For that bottle. On other days, one doesn't, if there had been a needle hole in the stopper, you can just take a needle and push it through the rubber and use that to get the air in. But the bottle that I examined did not have such a needle hole. So that particular bottle, the propofol was removed with a vented infusion set. He could have used a different one.
Or none at all?
No. How do you get, there's...
Well, Doctor, your opinion, you do understand the difference between opinion and fact, don't you? Do you?
I'll sustain the objection.
You understand that everything you said in the last 2 days was your opinion. You do understand that, right? Do you understand that?
I stated my name, which I think is a matter of fact. Much of what I have testified is basically standards of the practice of medicine. It might be the opinion that I have as a physician, but I believe it's that's an interesting question. To say that one should not lie at UCLA Medical Center is my opinion. If you want to stretch the term opinion to that length, then I will agree that my statement that one should not lie at UCLA Medical Center is my opinion.
You were asked to come here, doctor, to state your medical opinion about certain things. Is that right?
That is correct.
And one of the medical opinions you stated was the actual occurrences that happened in Michael Jackson's room on June 25th, 2009?
Objection misstates the testimony.
Overruled.
Isn't that right?
Please repeat the question.
One of the things that you were asked your opinion about, that you testified to yesterday, were the actual occurrences, the actual IV setup, infusion, how Michael Jackson received the propofol that was in his body. Isn't that right? Is that not your
The
opinion?
nature of the question is, was I asked to do that? If the nature of the question is, was I asked to do that, I don't recall if Mr. Walgren made a request that I do that or not. I simply did that.
Okay, we're going to get into that. My question is, how would you characterize your testimony? Is it opinion or isn't it?
It is my opinion that that's what's happened. That is correct.
Would you be at all surprised that there are other medical experts that would disagree with you?
Vague as to
Would you
what
be
issue?
surprised?
I would appreciate it if the parties would wait until I have a chance to rule before responding. Sustained. Re-ask, please.
You understand that other parties disagree with you.
Objection vague. As to what?
Sustained.
All right.
I don't know what other parties think.
You don't have to answer.
Sorry.
So that partial answer is stricken disregard.
Sorry.
Thanks.
The IV setup that you brought into Michael Jackson's room in your demonstration then.
Objection brought into Michael Jackson's room.
I brought it to a courtroom.
Overruled with that clarification. Go ahead, please, Mr. Chernoff.
Is there anything else other than what you've testified to today that you base its appearance, its use, on June 25th, 2009? Anything else?
Between my testimony today and my testimony yesterday, I've
Yes,
given
sir.
all the reasons.
All right. And the reasons are Dr. Murray's office purchased this IV.
And requested it be shipped to California.
Are you sure about that?
Well, I can read it again.
Well, you've already read it once. Just want to make sure you're sure.
I'm yes.
All right.
That's my interpretation of what I'm reading in the notes.
And this is March 17th. Is that right?
No, it was actually the 25th, I think. Let me give it to you exactly. March 17th, just says, Connie getting ready to place order today or tomorrow. Connie, I believe, works for Dr. Murray. Asked if she could order online, absolutely. But then the safe site is first mentioned on March 25th. Mostly MS, including safe site, which I'll enter as a separate drop ship. And then March 25th again, safe site drop ship, and then March 26th, credit card decline for recent order from warehouse. March 31st, nothing's been resolved, but that seems to involve the safe site.
Okay. And then my question is, other than that notation, the fact that Dr. Murray's office purchased this, is there anything else that you believe shows that this item was at Michael Jackson's house on June 25th?
It's the only vented set that I could find. There may be another one that I missed. But when I look through the orders, it's the only vented set that I could find.
So what you're saying is, since you believe there was an infusion, there needs to be a vented set. Is that right? Is that right?
Objection misstates the testimony. He said because of the rent in the bottle.
The objection is sustained. You're going to have to reformulate the question.
Well, is your testimony that there needs to be a vented IV set because you believe there was an infusion from a bottle?
No, I found a bottle with a hole in it that was created by a spike, and there was no port in that stopper for the entry of air. It refers to that particular bottle only.
You understand that when the police came to the scene, when coroner investigators came to the scene, they did not find an IV set such as that one.
I am aware of that.
They found the Excel Horizon IV set.
I'm aware of that.
They also found numerous other items, right?
I'm aware of that.
For instance, People's number 30,
Yes.
People's number 29,
Yes.
all kinds of bottles, right?
Yes.
Syringes,
Yes.
but not that particular IV line. You know that, right?
I'm aware of that.
Would you consider that evidence against the possibility that that IV line was at the house?
No.
You don't consider that evidence?
It's so easy to remove.
Well, it's easy to remove a vial too, right? Is it easy to remove a vial?
It is potentially easy to remove a vial. A vial is a little bit bulky compared to a curled up IV line.
What about a syringe? Is it easy to remove a syringe?
It is easy to remove syringes. Well, again, the problem with syringes is that there's a sharp needle on it.
So, if a particular individual was interested in, I don't know, for instance, hiding his activity, he might be dissuaded by the fact that the needle had the syringe had a needle on it?
Potentially.
Huh. During your you never did use the Horizon IV setup. We've already established that. Is that correct? During your demonstration.
The Horizon IV set. Which is the Horizon? Is that the Excel set?
Yes.
No, I didn't have one.
During your demonstration, you were trying to show what 25 milligrams, which is 2.5 cc's. Is that right? 25 milligrams of propofol?
That's correct.
You drew up 2.5 cc's into a syringe.
Correct.
And you showed, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, how much that was, right?
Correct.
And you used a 20 cc syringe to do that.
That's correct.
You know that your testimony yesterday was that Dr. Murray told the police, explained to the police that he used a 10 cc syringe.
Correct.
And that he drew it up with half lidocaine and half propofol.
Correct.
Which would account for 50 milligrams of propofol and 5 cc's of lidocaine.
2.5 cc's of lidocaine.
In one syringe.
2.5 cc's of lidocaine and 2.5 cc's of propofol.
So, Doc, your demonstration with the 20 cc syringe, was that based on evidence you received in this case?
Well, the size of the syringe is irrelevant. I don't understand the point you're making.
Well, maybe to you, Doctor. My question is, did you have any evidence that Dr. Murray had a 20 cc syringe at the scene?
No, there were only 10 cc syringes at the scene. If I thought that was relevant, I would have brought a 10 cc syringe with me.
And your testimony today is that you remember Dr. Murray's statement being that he pulled in 5 cc's of propofol?
No, 2.5 cc's of propofol.
You remember that? Him saying that?
What he actually said was that he gave 25 milligrams, and that would be 2.5 cc's.
Okay. And you recall Dr. Murray saying that he pulled up 2.5 cc's of lidocaine?
He did not say that.
Did he say any amount of lidocaine?
I'm happy to check his testimony. I have it here, but I believe he used the word 1-to-1, which I interpreted as cc to cc.
And so your assumption, if he said 1-to-1, was that it was 2.5 and 2.5, right? Is that right?
That's correct.
In a 10 cc syringe.
Correct.
Pushed into, according to doctor's testimony, the Y connector in the Excel IV site.
Objection. Doctor's testimony, you mean the interview?
The objection sustained. Re-ask it.
During the doctor's statement.
Re-ask the whole question, please.
Dr. Murray said in his statement that he pushed in 25 milligrams of propofol in that formulation into the Y connector on the IV site that was connected to the saline bag, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
And yesterday's demonstration in front of the jury, when showing where the medicine would go, you remember showing that?
Yes.
You used a 20 cc syringe and 2.5 milliliters of propofol. Is that right?
Yes.
And you used a different IV set than what doctor said that he used.
Yes, and I did state that I had not checked the actual dimensions because I've been waiting to try. I've been trying to get that from Seacoast. That was actually stated that I had not worked out all the geometry yet.
You said something about 3 feet.
That particular one was about 3 feet. And if the seacoast is much closer, then that's